Welcome, this is Melinda Barlow, CZT, Certified Zentangle Teacher. And today I have been working on a gift, maybe a little outdated, for my granddaughter. And I do these for my grandkids, just not on a regular basis, but just when I'm inspired to. And I wrote her name and her birth date, and now I will tangle around it. And I taught this tangle squill, and I thought I would just give it a little different look because I've got the dark letter, so I didn't want the really black behind that usually squill gets, is this little solid black behind. I'm just changing it up a little bit, which I thought you might be interested in doing. And so I am filling in the little circle, the little leaf pods with circles. Just different sizes of circles. So I'm going to scan in a little bit so you can see. And sometimes I like them to look like they're overlapping. And now I'll go back and fill in behind each little circle, so my background will be black. Just barely enough space for that 0.01 pin to go in there, and barely fill in behind. And I love how it helps that really define those pebbles in there, those little circles. It just helps that design pop out. If I had done totally black, like Squill originally has, I would have, of course, covered up some of my letters, and you wouldn't be able to see what they are. So choosing something that is more light allows me to have the same effect, but without the really dark. And then I chose to just put some random lines behind. Let's go back out a little bit so you can see. So I just did a series of just lines behind, fairly close lines. So we'll do this one right here, and I'll just start, and I want them really close together. And I can do a little highlight by skipping maybe 3 or even just 2 lines. And you can see how that gives you a little sparkle in there, a little glimmer of light, and they're fairly close together. And the more you do this, the easier it gets to get those closer together. And this is another way to give a dimension without being solid black. We give it a fairly close lines together, and you get that dimension of feeling like it's more black, but not really black. And then I also like to do, instead of the lines behind the echo lines, put a flowier one that kind of reminds me of Emily. So I'm just going to do some Muka sprout here, just a little Muka, and another one. Just fill in this background with Muka, and just let them flow. And this is Maria's Muka, and as I said earlier, I haven't always been able to draw that one, but with some practice I've been able to get my technique down to something that I like, and then I can go back in and fill in. I'm going to go ahead and draw on here, and we'll just see what happens. I am going to add some white because I'm working on a gray piece of paper. I can come back in and shade with a white jelly roll or a chalk pencil or a highlighter, or I can do not highlight, I can use a graphite and shade down on that. So I will work on this and we'll just see what happens. I really like working on large pieces because I can make my tangles a little larger, emphasize the size, or I can make them small. And you can see how this is progressing. I'm excited. I think it's going to be lots of fun. I'm going to take a little break and I'll be back. Okay, I'm getting out my jelly roll and my charcoal charcoal white, so we can add a little accent. Sometimes the charcoal white doesn't add quite enough, so I can go in here with my white, and it's going to just pop it right out. And because I did these as sprouts and not one continuous Muka, I can color them in. If I had done a little sprout, a continuous Muka, I wouldn't be able to. And blend it out so that it has a little different look. So I'm going to go ahead and work on these with both graphite and white to see how my Give myself a little darker outside. Little contrast. Help that white lift off the paper. And sometimes that shadow just behind really adds to your tangle. Taking your pencil, your graphite, and just putting a little bit of graphite along that edge. And then coming in here and blending it out in your background. I'm wearing my little shading stump right out. I should take it and clean it if I've got a little emery board, and I can clean this blending stump so that it has a better, sharper point. And then I can blend down in just a little bit better. And this design just wouldn't be complete without a little fescue. I love to put fescue in things. I just think it just adds, and you can just entwine it into just about anywhere. I'll probably have to look at this for a little while and see what else it needs, but stay tuned. As I was looking at this total picture, I thought it needed some balance, and so I started die-on here. And if you don't know how to draw die-on, there is a video of die-on. I'll put a link to it in the description below. And so I'm just going to balance this out with a little die-on. And I like to put these little pearls around my die-on. We can shade this one. Now we're just going to shade this one with a little graphite. And I'm just going to shade, put a little graphite just around the outside edge of those little petals on die-on. Blending tool. And blend out. And I can come back in with my white jelly roll and add just a little white to just a few of these little dots, these little pearls that are going around the outside edge. Just to give it some little light. And that gives us just a little balance. And I can add some little fescue. And some little dots. Sometimes I just like to add a little stipple. And there we have a fun way to make a gift for anyone. It could just be their name. You can put their name and their birth date. Maybe just the day, not the year, but when you're this young, you like to see the year too. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of the videos. And support for this channel comes from shopping at Inkidoodles.com, where you can get pens, tiles, and templates, and much more. Thanks for watching and have a great day.